What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the Dr. Funk live show. Thank you guys so much for subscribing on YouTube, iTunes, Apple Music, Spotify, StreamYard. Thank you guys always for donations. We'll get into those things and we'll do it. I'm not late, I'm on time. So that's what it comes down to. It doesn't say 6 p.m. sharp. So, I love how when you do these things for free that people make demands on you. Hello, everyone. Hope you guys are doing well. There's always someone, right? How are you guys doing? It's been an interesting week, right? Chadwick Boseman, sad. In so many different ways, his passing. The most for people that a hero died in more ways than one, a role model. So good to see you, good to be seen. But it goes on to it. What a sad loss. And in such a short career, playing so many pivotal roles, from Jackie Robinson to James Brown to the Black Panther. And it's just surprising. So those are those things. Some people can't take jokes back, apparently, but we're trying to be serious right here from the get-go. That's what goes on. So I couldn't believe when I heard it, and of course it being from colon cancer and other things is surprising, especially with when he'd post photos or videos of himself on social media, and there would be people making accusations about him that we're not going to say, but I've constantly said before that we are always, people are battling things that no one truly knows about. And we all have our own battles, and it's just problematic. But at least he'll live on in the movie world and what he stood for. I just, it's sad that kids lost a role model and a hero in so many different ways. So that's what it goes down to. Sorry to be so serious from the get-go, but that's how it is. Exactly, Cheryl. So, it's all it comes down to. Hope that you guys are doing well with all that is going on in this year that we call 2020. So there is that. Let's get on to some more positive news, and we will circle back to those things. So, and one of the things I want to discuss first, aside from things that we will talk about, was the Love for Another announcement, Love for Learning, and that a new scholarship initiative was announced by Maite Garcia with Laurel Springs Online Education. With a written submission, Love for Another is offering a full year of scholarships to Laurel Springs. Hopefully someone can provide a link to it, because I'm looking at it from a different device. loveforanother.org. I think that I'm going to try to do it, but it's not going to give a direct link for what we're discussing, but I don't think that it did it as well. But there is the link for it. So, And this is 100% true. And of course, now it goes away. That's what people don't understand on my side. Yep. Trust me. And when I first posted the story to the Facebook fan page, I don't think like I was the first at all, but I used it from what I saw was the first, which was a comic book website. And because I guess it came from there, it didn't post. So I saw like 3 or 4 hours later that it didn't post because I went away from it because, wow. And I just put on there, I posted this earlier about 3 hours ago. It didn't post, but it is true. Because I guess sometimes if someone says it's not true or whatever, or fact checks it, Facebook is holding on to it. So I put a link for Variety instead. But of course, someone goes, oh, but you're bragging about being first. I'm like, nope, they don't understand. Then someone was making a comment. Again, I'm like, here it is. Someone died. And people being cruel to him. And here it is already. The first comments are about stuff and trying to attack me. So those are those things. And we'll get into questions. Did I ever wonder why Prince didn't vote? See, he did vote before he was a witness. So yes, when he was a witness, he didn't vote. They did do that before. So he did vote before because he would say for a politician to vote for in the 90s. But then again, that person that he wanted people to vote for was offering that there would not be property tax for a few years. So, of course, Prince owning Paisley Park and all the land that he owned in Minnesota, of course, he was down for that. So that's where it comes down to. No, this is not a small shirt, but it's a dress shirt with sizes on it. But yes, is it smaller than what I used to wear? Yes. But that's what it goes down onto. So yeah. It's just one of those things, right? But now everything is so divided. And the thing is that I try not to discuss that on my show unless we're having a political guest on, so we're not going to get political now. Sometimes I think we need a break from it on Facebook and everywhere else in life. We are so divided right now, and it's not good, in my opinion. So that's what it comes down to. What up there, Ohio, there, Texas, and there we're on, and Andre's saying something, but it's coming up link again. Do I think Prince proves of what's going on at Paisley? When you mean what's going on at Paisley, what do you mean? Are you talking about the social distancing event or other stuff? And these are the things with him no longer being here. It plays into judgment. But I would love to have people involved that knew him and do that. Oh, someone realized I don't have a beard, huh? Hope it looks good. Just trying something different because I'm noticing everyone in quarantine or whatnot, they have the beard going on and other stuff. And I just decided to try something different. And speaking of something different, in a few weeks, we'll finally have a few things that I'm wanting, like the comments not being to the right on the TV screen to where I'm looking towards that. Literally, we're going to have it installed to where it'll be right behind the screen. And that's going to be installed. Going to have someone here. Now I'm hoping to also have them do the TV stand that we're going to have right here. So I can be playing you like the announcement of my tale of the Love for Another announcement that was made. So there's other things we're working on. If you could believe it, for that special mount that I need, because I can't have it right on the wall because then you guys will still see my eyes. It has to be right behind the computer screen. So all together for installation on just that, not including the TV right now, or the video screen that'll be behind me, it's $400. But some of you guys made donations over the past 2 weeks. I'm very grateful, need to reach out to you, but that's where that money is going to, is for a freaking mount. Mounts usually cost $60 or whatever, and then installation, but we need a special one. And it was $319. So you can make any jokes you want, but after taxes and installation, it'll be $400, but that's what it's going to. So it's appreciated. Australia. So that's cool. Was it about was this about the upcoming Sign of the Times set, or was it other things? So I'm doing well because I'm here with all of you. Are you talking about in person? Because we can always do shows like this. The main problem is with artists, it really is true that we're all stuck inside, and that's what they'll say, but their schedules are so discombobulated, it makes it actually difficult to get them locked in for a certain time and do it live. Another guest I've been trying to have on for you guys didn't realize until late last week that it's video, and they're afraid to be on camera. They want to promote Prince and something going on. So like, I'm trying to get them on the phone, like, look, I'll be live on video. We can have you not be live, but your voice, and we can still have the audience answering questions. So then it's still like a show and done live. So, but it's just frustrating. And then I really wanted to have the DJ that is going to be DJing the Paisley Park After Dark this Saturday, which is Lincoln. That was just announced yesterday, and I haven't been able to get in contact with her yet. But I'm hoping to have her on next week. And then with fans that attend Paisley Park After Dark to share your experiences on this show. So thanks, Teresa. I try. Yeah. Mary Jane, I am doing it. You know, it has to go towards the show, and I take the criticisms a little bit too much to heart. You're never as good as people say you are, and you're never as bad as people say you are. But you can't think that your own stuff don't smell. You know, it just comes down to that. In person live, I don't know. Like, we want to make sure, like we have a set, we'd have to do other stuff, and we'd have to have it be even more professional, because we don't have, it's not like there's someone paying for things. Shaka would be an interesting guest. Another person that someone recommended to me, beginning Clarence Williams III on, who played Prince's father in the Purple Rain movies. In the movie, did I just say movies plural? Movie is what I meant. So we can talk about that. Okay. I haven't seen them. I did hear it because it was played at Paisley Park for us. I'm not certain about video unless it was professionally shot, which I don't think it was, but there is soundboard recordings of it. So, you know, and I've been wanting to have Linka on for a while. The reasons we haven't had her on yet, we won't get into, but, you know, I would go to her events at First Avenue and whatnot, and we didn't actually meet in person until Paul Peterson's show earlier this year in LA, which seems like 5 years ago now because of everything that's going on. But we did talk, and I'm hoping to have her on. She just needs to check her messages. So can't make anyone do that, but it really wasn't like, you know, a lot of warning. She was just announced yesterday as being on it, but hopefully in the future we can have that on, because there's other guests that we have booked. But again, next week we want Linka on, and we want fans that are on from Paisley Park After Dark. And we're not having a Friday show this week. And the reason for that is it's supposed to be 111 here, 115 on Saturday, and 112 on Sunday. Finally, by next Wednesday, it'll be back into the mid 90s. So it won't be so hot to do a show, and we won't have to worry about not having power or internet, which sometimes happens during these heat warnings, excessive heat. And this is what we're getting in Los Angeles now. And this is, I think, when it's all said and done, will be probably one of the hottest summers on record. Did I ever attend the Family Jam? Yes, I did. I was there. And it could have been better promoted to either have a smaller venue or to sell out the Forum. But tickets weren't on sale for that till much later. So a lot of people overseas didn't fully attend. There was some, but you could have had more, and from other states as well. But yes, I was there, and I had a really, really good time. So let's see. Yeah, and it's going to be humid as well. So people in Minnesota, I don't know what the weather is supposed to be in Chanhassen. This wow. Let's see. In Minnesota this weekend for Chanhassen. Let's see. And of course, like, it changes on my thing because I used to have it set for Chanhassen in LA. So I guess someone else is going to have to. Here we go. Sorry to do this live. Like, I used to just have it on my phone. It says location already added, but it's not bringing up the location, which is just fantastic. Gotta love technology. They just try to make it weather more difficult for you than it has to be. So I have to 72 today, which is awesome. Well, right now I should say it was 79. Cloudy, so it probably means a little muggy. It's supposed to be just under 80 this weekend, and just wow. I'm really seeing 58 by Tuesday and rain. All right then, Minnesota. So, Olga, we'll look into that. But, I just think with Clarence, I don't remember him actually talking about Purple Rain before. Do you guys? So, it'd be an interesting thing. I have reached out to other people that have done projects, maybe one film project, dab them on, they go silent. I don't know if there was NDAs signed back then that last 20 years, but it says something else. I believe I held that one too at Paisley, the Black Fist bass guitar. 87, and that's, you're saying our temperature, not yours, right, Captain? So that's interesting. Thank you for that. So we all know it. And 87 just sounds a lot better than, it was 32 degrees today. You putting the higher things. So that's, you're talking about the mug. Okay, then you're talking about something else. It is a protein drink, protein water. So it isn't coffee, it isn't tea. So yeah, that's what I'm saying about Clarence. But some people we have to have on, and you guys will mention the same names all the time. And look, I've reached out to them. I'm going to have you guys do it. So, yeah, us Americans, huh, Captain? We make things about us. That's why people would say with overseas artists, specifically in the UK, that unless they made it in America, they weren't big. Just kind of messed up, right? So, but those are the things going on. Get on with more questions, guys, because this is how it's going to be. We don't want me to be talking about weather. You guys can look to your local news for that. No, no. Um, that the poster back there, that's one of the original movie posters that was at the Grauman's Chinese Theater when the movie premiered there in 1984. It's one of the ones that was on the inside of it. And it has the markings on the poster underneath the matting that I did. But I just thought it looks really cool and it matches the purple chairs and other things. I love Sign of the Times, I love the Cherry Moon. Graffiti Bridge, I'd love to see the unedited version of that to see if it would be a different movie. Pineapple Express. No. We're talking about Prince's favorite movies. We're not talking about favorite movies of all time, right? I don't think I saw Pineapple Express until last year for the first time. So me not smoking weed or any of that other stuff, not so familiar with it, but I just think people that are high are always amusing to someone who doesn't do it. And this is a question off of YouTube. It's an interesting track list. I can't wait to absorb it all. And just here's hoping a lot of the remixes that didn't make it will be released for record store days in the future as limited releases. Maybe close to 5,000 copies, not 1987 or 2,000 copies, because Robin released something that was limited to 2,000 copies on last weekend's record store day, and it included her live version of Jack You Off, and I was able to obtain a copy of that. Yeah. The Purple Rain movie was supposed to be crazy dark and started off with the ending at the beginning and more people dead. But I believe that the way it turned out, yeah, Captain, it's one of those things, but will that be, is that what they found, or was it omitted on purpose? I'm waiting for them to say it before I make any assumptions, but it is, it is interesting. Or would that be a version that they say it was made for a parade, since, I Could Never Take the Place of Your Man is originally from 1979, as we're finding out. Were there other versions that will be on another set that'll make you buy it? We'll see how this goes. Do I think the Camille album will ever see a release? Yes, in the future. And that could be either a record store day release or its own standalone release with certain different things in there. And I could just see the fans getting upset. I already bought this on the Sign Times deluxe set, or I have this from Crystal Ball and I'm having to get this as well. But those are how things are going to go, because people want it, but not everyone wants it. Like when Prince was here, there'd be fans wanting the old Prince and people wanting the new Prince, and then it was just a mixture of things. And now that he's not here, there's different arguments going on. But this is what it sounds like when the fans aren't satisfied. Right? No. But yes, it'll be really cool to have a Camille thing. Hopefully it won't be a limited set, but it could be. How did I acquire the poster from a theater? In 2000, being sold somewhere in Hollywood and having the markings and the measurements and other stuff on it, I was able to confirm what it was. So that's where I found it. She'll come on when it's more closer to her book release or whatever. But I do see that, I do believe someone said that she was on the PRN alumni like after show, and then they're talking about doing something about drunk Prince history. Like those are those things, but these people are welcome on the show. Like, just know that. But I can't force anyone to do things they don't want to do, or on their own time, because sometimes some people they want to do their own thing. That's why there's so many different shows out. What I don't like is people slamming another show or other stuff to basically try to make their show better or other things. There's room for us all. And I don't like talking about who I'm going to have on future episodes because I've had people jack guest and I've had people, I'm sure, to reach out like, oh, why are you doing his show instead of ours and all this other stuff. And I just don't want to play into that game. And that's what it was. So, anticipating this sign times on what up, Brian. See, now you're talking about projects. Are you talking about deluxe editions? Because when it comes to remaster of albums, it's right now what Sony has, they can't exactly remaster. So that's what it comes down to. What up, Vegas? So we've talked about the Netflix documentary before. It's still going to happen. Remember, they have a new director. It's been about a year since Ava left. They do have a new director now. We have COVID going on. So I imagine it'll be a few more years until it's actually released. I would like for some small part of it, but I do believe it's going to happen. And I have not read it yet, but we will be having them on. I know that it's somewhat out, although the official release date is later in September. So, and Ruth is 100% hilarious. But you can't keep knocking people on the head wanting them to be on. They know you want them on, and you let it be known, and that's all it goes down to. So, yeah. And exactly, this is true too. It's up to them to be on. But Ruth is feeling a lot more comfortable. I'd love to have her on. But it's just one of those things. Well, we'll be having other people on, but next week is just going to be about Paisley Park After Dark. And if it cools down, next week we can have a Friday show and I can have a guest on that's been waiting for a few weeks. And I really would like to have this person on. So, you just have these scenes because it would have sucked to have the person booked for today and then we were able to get the Paisley Park After Dark DJ on today and then having to bump them, but we're trying to do things the way that we can. And I want to have multiple shows a week, but sometimes the weather just isn't agreeing right now. So there's that, And I would like to switch up the posters every now and then. And, but it also wouldn't match other things, but we will do that eventually. So, it's happened. I don't think it's done purposely sometimes, but it does happen. And what we said last week is still in place. And I guess we just got to have like a little thing on there that we're not going to be making assumptions or other things on what happened on 4/21/16. This isn't the place for it. Plain and simple, this is about his legacy and going forward his stuff. Like, it does nothing. It doesn't help anyone. All it does is it gets people upset. And again, Susie, it's something we discussed last week. I'm not going to go there. And I'd appreciate it if that's just not there. That's all it comes down to. So, it isn't just for 1 week. It's permanently. Those are not things that we are going to discuss. If you want to go there and discuss that, you can. But this is just not the place for it. That's just how it is. I'm sorry, but it's about being respectful. And then I knew him and I was there the weekend before he passed away. And it's just too much. How can you expect people that knew him and other stuff when fans can't move on? But imagine for the other people that knew him and his family, how hard that is. It's got to stop. And I said this last week and it's in place now. So no, Dawn, I haven't. because that book was quite expensive, anyone wants to send me a copy, that would be great. So I'm trying to get a tan, but of course when you're have this going on before it isn't doing it, and the makeup, I'm trying. So it just goes on to that. So yeah, that's how it goes on. Yeah, a tan would be nice. Then I probably wouldn't be so self-conscious. Well, Pamela, Spike had events for Prince as well. So yes, he still does parties for MJ, and he still does birthday parties for Prince. Albeit I'm not sure about this year with COVID going on, but he has done it before. So, I stick to one. People can like both. It's all good. But yeah. And Harvey, he's welcome. I just don't think that it's going to happen just because of where questions and other things might go, and he's just not going to discuss that. So I love how people just don't listen, that they keep putting stuff as facts, and you let people know how you feel and they just don't give a damn. They don't respect it. So there you go. And it's just getting to a point, do I need to block people? Do I need to do stuff? It just becomes to a point of where we're trying to say what we're trying to do here, and it just doesn't go like that. Okay, if they didn't get along with Ava, why do you think they would get along with Spike, who's even more difficult to work with? Like, it's not going to happen. And there is already another director in place. So, so yeah. There you go. But there was no way if they couldn't get along with Ava that they were going to have Spike on. So that's what it comes down to. Stephen Hill, I missed that, but yeah, he does put the jams on for sure. Yes, Pamela, I am looking forward to it. Sorry that comment's been up for a while. I didn't realize that. Whoops. And looking forward to it. But the thing is when there's so many other people that are going to be having him on, it's not going to be as special. I know that Miami is going to be different, but if you're doing everything, it makes it a little bit more. But I am looking forward to the book myself, but we'll see how things pan out. I would get it. I haven't read it yet, I'll be honest. And this is what I talk about. And what I'm trying to say is that there's certain things that are difficult to read, to do, and then people making insensitive comments because they know facts or whatnot. It doesn't help the situation in trying to go forward, So, yes. That's great, Dawn. Wasn't my thing. Yeah, I haven't read it. I have multiple copies of it. I have respect for Dan, as Prince chose him to do it, and that's what it comes down to. So, okay. Because you focus on the music, and that's what Prince wanted people to know, was the music. So we can't have a documentary on 1999 because of what happened on 4/21/16. We can't have a documentary on Purple Rain because of this. See how that sounds? we can have documentaries on what we know about and what we can go on for. So, but yeah, it's just going to get to the point of just blocking, because it isn't about respect anymore. I respect you guys, but you don't respect it back. And you're just, what you're doing is there's a Band-Aid and you guys are just messing with it. And it's just messed up. So, you know, like, it just seems like some people are like, screw Prince, screw his music, screw everything. We want to talk about this. And then, as I said after he passed away, in one of the first interviews I did, that Prince wouldn't want people talking about how he died. He'd want them to talk about how he lived. And he'd want people to celebrate him and celebrate his music. So, you know, yeah. Yeah. I mean, it only going up to Purple Rain for the Beautiful Ones is tough because he wanted to go up to the Super Bowl. But it's just how it is. So, although Diane and others we're upsetting people tonight is what we're doing, because there's just certain things I want to talk about. But this is why sometimes when you don't have a guest on the show and you're just wanting to interact with you guys, that it gets on there. Mariah does have some Prince stories to tell for sure. So, and it is her story to tell. So, Michelle, yeah, they are supposed to have, you know, the Netflix is supposed to be a series, not just one thing. It's supposed to cover a lot of things. So that's all it comes down to. It's just, you know, this is why when we feed into other things, this is why Facebook posts turn into arguments on politics and other things. And then sometimes when someone has a comment that you don't like on Facebook, that you don't agree with, you can just scroll past it. You know, like, there's so much stuff that's just written. It just gets to a point of, yeah. And I'm not going to do that. Of course, me having like a special show, like, ooh, let's talk about certain things, I'm sure get high ratings. That's not what it's about. So that's what it comes down to. I want them to take care of the fans and let them know about stuff like the box set, the singles box set. There should have been a warning, like, coming next week or coming in 2 days. There's going to be this. It's limited to 1987 copies. So you guys are aware. So that's what's going on. And yeah. I'm sorry to just get heated, but it's like you have to constantly keep repeating yourself. And it's just gets upsetting. And even if we had like a thing, I would hate to have it the first thing that you, when you sign on to the Funkenberry fan page, that you see that thing. But it just, because I still feel that people just are going to do what they want to do. So, yeah. It could have went further though, but that's what they went to, and I think that's what they wanted. So, yeah. There we go again. Again, it's not. Sometimes people want to be heard, they don't want to listen. So you can ask to be respectful and other things, but they want to make sure that they're heard instead. So, Nazmi, what does that have to do with 421:16? No one's saying to shut up. I'm just asking that, has it helped the situation going forward? And yes, Melina, it is like a broken down record because people aren't listening and then just trying to add in other things to it. So the microchip in the neck, that's been discussed since 1997, right? We're in 2020. Sometimes it's used as a fear tactic. We just have to make sure it doesn't go down that route. Pamela, since that show, it's actually been more people coming here and doing it. Before that show, we weren't having this. So actually it made things worse. And I did have a private conversation with him about that. It's actually made it worse. And we weren't having this before. Again, there has to be stuff for it. So yes, I'd love to have Sharon on the show. We will in the future. So, well, Stacy, when I say further, it's because Prince wanted the book to go up to the Super Bowl. And that would be 2007. It only went up to Purple Rain. That's why we have to make sure that in the future, instead of getting distracted by other things, that our mind is on it to where if they ever make a Prince movie, that it doesn't just go up to Purple Rain and it's done. So, but if we're only concentrating on that and not concentrating on the legacy, we're not going to get the things done that we need to do. So, amen, Lenny. Amen to that one. So, sorry, Stacy. I just try to say that instead of D words and other things. I don't think I'm that amazing, but thank you. Like I said, you're never as good as people say you are. You're never as bad as people say you are. So, we'll put this up just so people on just YouTube don't see it. $175 Vintage House shirt that sold out so fast. It was awesome. But that wasn't on the estate site, right? Is true. I know you meant can't control what's going on. But yeah, this is it. And I don't want to have a freaking private show and have people sign up. But that's why people are doing signups. So what you can do is if someone's doing stuff that they shouldn't be doing, you just eliminate them. Try not to do that. Yeah, we did see that. Of course, like if we had the TV behind me that I want, you would have had that comment up. So yeah. I mean, Captain, when we were doing the old Spreecast show, when I was doing it, there didn't seem to be, there was more people in here and in the old format, but it didn't seem like we're getting as much as this. We would have people pretending to be other people and doing stuff, but it just gets worse. So thanks, Nazmi. You have to understand it just comes from the written word about their stuff. But yes, you know, those are stuff that Prince discussed. But there's another thing I want to bring up, but I know that people would get it mixed up. So we're not going to get on that. Yes. And I still haven't gotten my singles box set. And let's just say this, me living in the USA and then people in overseas already getting there, it's not looking too good. So, and gotta love music today. When I call them, I won't even get into that because here's hoping that there'll be a resolution. So, let's see. Yes, I've been in a few with him. So yes, and I was at those parties a lot. Thanks to Ruth, thanks to him, thanks to others. So very appreciative of those experiences. And those parties would be off the chain. And then sometimes we were there before the parties and then, you know, we would see what detergent was being used. And I'm sure it was just stuff that was on sale. I don't think it was like something to do, but there would be vitamin water and other things. Those are other things you want to hear about than what was going on, right? There'd be vitamin water, a lot of that. So I'm sure that's something that requested. As it comes to detergent, as long as it does the job, and who says it would be his clothes, but it would be in his laundry room. So, yeah, Harvey, that was, you know, that's when he had, I think you asked on Instagram too, and I just literally saw like a half hour before the show. Instagram isn't giving me a lot of notifications lately, and I think I know the reason for that. But yeah, he was promoting in Diamonds and Pearls, and that's when you had Little Richard in the audience, Sheila E., Patti LaBelle being a guest host, but those were also people that were probably on Prince's guest list. Because when we were Arsenio in 2014, Leanne LaHavis, myself, Nicole from the Pussycat Dolls was there. Other people were there when we were on Prince's guest list. So we're in the audience for that as well. But I'm not no Little Richard, and I'm not no Sheila E. And I think MC Hammer was in that crowd too, because MC Hammer was something at that time still. So, but Arsenio back then was a party for sure. And if he didn't have to play by the rules, the second time was around, it may have been even more successful. I don't know what the ratings were in the 1991 show, but in the second format of 2014, like Prince ruled the night. Like he beat out The Tonight Show, Colbert. I don't think Colbert was on at that time. It was Letterman. But it was the highest rated show that Arsenio ever had, and it beat out everyone else. So I'm sure in 1991, that episode beat out Carson. So, and that was fun to be at. Hoffler, the second time, was for bad ratings. Even though he was renewed for a second season, the episodes, aside from the Prince episode, were not highly rated. So that'd be a question for Leanne, which we'd love to have on. I need to listen to her new album and dissect it before have her on. I know what the time changed, but I'd love to have her on, and then maybe she can discuss. I know there was reporters, so hopefully he allowed cameras, but if he didn't, which we suspect, it probably wasn't filmed. So yeah. And then the first time he was asked, Arsenio, that is, how do I do this without getting political? Trying to do the facts. Arsenio wanted to have Louis Farrakhan on at the time. And if you think he was a controversial figure now, he was more controversial then. And he was asked by certain people in Hollywood and the company that controlled the show at the time, Paramount, to not have Louis Farrakhan on, but he did. And the show was on at 11 p.m. like the second version of Arsenio was on. And then all of a sudden, his show got bumped to 11:30. Then within a few months after that, it was on at 12. It was on at 12:30. Yes, his ratings weren't where they were in 1991, but he did. Him standing up for who he wanted to have on ended up hurting him. And his contract wasn't renewed after it ran out. So, yes. Who didn't love Prince, right? And everyone has experiences. I wish that Prince would have done Ellen more than the two times that he did. But that'd be Prince saying, I've already done the show, although he did Leno so many other times. So I'm sure he did, Cheryl. I'm sure he did. Be interesting what it would be in the 80s, although he wasn't doing too many talk shows back then. He did Saturday Night Live and Solid Gold, and then what it would be in the 90s and what it would be later on in his career. But they always have writers for stuff. There were some very interesting ones in the 90s that would come out. So that's why we got to have managers on and other stuff so they can really confirm this stuff. See, that's awesome. What I was told with the singles box set is to give it time. But the thing is I contacted the shipping companies and they said they never got it, that a shipping label was created but never got here. And if it was a shirt, they can do it. But with this being a limited set, I might be screwed. So, well, in all honesty, when Prince went on Ellen's show, her show was hot from the get-go. That tickets for her show in LA, filmed in Burbank, were sold out months in advance. In fact, it was because how we had for Leno, where it'd be 24 fans invited for the Tonight Show. For Ellen, it was only 4. So only 4 fans got in, and I was one of them. So I was extremely grateful for that. But Ellen's show was hot from the get-go. Super, super hot from people wanting tickets and ratings-wise. So, yeah. I sometimes wish that, more people film stuff, even though he got pissed about it, but maybe just held on to it for situations. So, yeah. Her show was tremendously successful, and it's just unfortunate that the controversy that's going on now. But sometimes, of course, they have people defending Ellen, but it's always really big name stars, and then other people felt they weren't treated well. It's just interesting, because I don't think it was done purposely, but sometimes you have a disconnect with people, because you know how she'd sign off on her show, be kind to one another. That's a thing that we all need to live by. But sometimes we get caught up. That's why I'm saying is I don't believe all the great things people say about me. You can't believe all the bad things. That's what it comes down to. So, yeah. Now with George Lopez, the reason he agreed to do George's show was, let me do this so you guys can see more. Prince did George's show because George found a way to call Prince himself, not a booking person. And he asked to be on his show. And then his manager at the time, Prince really liked that he called, but Prince didn't have anything in his eyes to promote at the time. So he told the person to tell George that he's not going to do it at this time, but he will definitely do it in the future. So when it came to the Forum run and the 21 nights in LA, that's when Prince did George. But that's the reason why he did it, is George contacted him himself. With Sinbad, that ended up being the last episode of Vibe, which was crazy because you'd think that they would have a slew of episodes after that on a Monday, I believe. It was a Monday when that show was recorded and aired. They would have had other shows to follow it, but that literally was the last show of Vibe. So, and Tavis, obviously, it being a PBS show and being a little bit more political, and as someone discussed earlier about chemtrails and other stuff, that's where he discussed it for the first time as well, along with his bouts with epilepsy. Guest list is always good, especially in LA where you don't have to wait in line for stuff. It's really, really nice. And I'm extremely grateful for that. Not getting the lowest flower for have you contacted Scott or Anthony about that? So, yeah. George is cool. And the thing is that the reason the George interview was so well, and I said this before, is that a girl, not going to mention her name on there, but it's because of her, that she knew George, and George loved Prince, but he didn't know him that deeply. So I was with her and we were at the recording of the show, but hours before, George is texting her and asking her and asking me through her what questions that he should ask for the interview. So a lot of those questions ended up on the show, and we're sitting there, watching it live in the audience, and we're just looking at each other, nudging each other, oh, that's one of our questions. So we helped with that, and I'd love to have George on to discuss it. And trying to get to George is difficult, but we tried. Just like there was another documentary that wanted him on and other stuff on, like I had people in contact with him. I have to be in contact with it. But again, when you're doing your own show, when you're booking the guests, doing your makeup, doing the lighting, it takes time. So to contact George's people and then have other things, it's going to take a few hours and a few days. But we definitely will do those things. So I don't know everything, but I try. And I'm appreciative of people that help me out to make things happen. One day I'll be able to have someone who can book it, because as I said before, not only do I want to do a print show, but I want to do other entertainment shows and other things on the daily. Can't have that happen yet, but here's hoping that this success happens. So it'll give you guys a better show, and they're going to have a person that I trust or someone in the industry that can be the booker for the show and other stuff. Yes, it's live, and you possibly on Twitch, you might be the only one there. You can always go on the Facebook fan page or YouTube to join us. Our audience is smaller on Twitch right now. That's why I have to do DJ sets on there and get it up. But again, those are those things, and sometimes with the regular world and what's going on in it, and I really try not to discuss my personal life, private life too much, but there's just been a lot of stuff going on. I don't just sit here and then next Wednesday all of a sudden I'm in a new outfit and then I just appear. There's other things to go on. So you'll be pretty free soon. Free for what? What are you trying to say? I'm joking, man. It's all good. But that's it. Yeah. And the show George showed him at the Alma Awards too. I was there at the Alma Awards. Thanks to my boy for that one. We were there, and then George made the comment that he was, gonna say that he was Latino for him just being there. But yeah, so when you say would the family want shows in multiple cities, what do you mean? What kind of shows are you talking about? So please don't get it up on cam. But yeah, that was a cool performance at the Almas, let me tell you. It's an interesting show to be on it. More guests in different cities. Well, we'll have it more than just here in LA and more in Minnesota. It would be nice eventually in the future to do shows live from Paisley Park. This weekend, with how ridiculously hot in LA it's going to be, it'd be nice to go to Minnesota. And I hear planes aren't as contagious as we first thought. But I think it would be a little bit to go on. Crap, I forgot to say at the beginning of the show for people to share this on their pages. Hate it when I forget that. So there you go. And here's a good question. Question for your audience. How is everyone planning on purchasing the Sign of the Times special edition? I mean, deluxe edition. Pre-order from Paisley Park, meaning the estate, or Amazon or local music store, or what? It's a very good question. I have ordered through the estate. I ordered through elsewhere. But if my local record store got it, I try to show them support, just like this week I sent someone there to get something for Record Store Day, but they were sold out. But I did try. I do let people know whether it's a Taylor Swift autographed CD or whatnot. So people are saying the estate. Another person said Amazon, pre-ordered on iTunes, streaming and rip it just like every other release since 2016. You're purchasing it though, right, Captain? Amazon. But yes, we all support our local record stores. It is quite an expensive set. And the local record stores are hurting right now, especially with what's going on with the labels charging a lot for shipping, or a certain amount has to be ordered. Not Amazon, the estate. Wish I had a local record store. Yeah. So that's a thing. If your local record store gets it, or before it ships on Amazon, especially with the mail troubles, you can just put it back. So Spy High for YouTube free gaming. Apparently someone doesn't care about sound. All right. And I apologize for earlier, guys. I don't want to talk about that stuff anymore. So that's what it just comes down to, is just staying on the positive and other things. It's just for my own sanity and other stuff. No record stores near you. I still think that CD Trader and Tarzana should be changed to Electric Fetus West. But you have 25 years of history. What option gives the estate the most money? I still believe it doesn't matter, but obviously with their shipping, it's possible it is the estate. But so there you go. And our main, our big record store in LA, they're not around right now. So it's like CD Trader and other stuff is our lifeline. I go in there a lot, at least once a week. Last week I was there 3 times. But I wish their 12 inches were higher than lower, because it make it easier to find, especially when you're having to wear a mask and you have that heat going on. But that's just me. Amoeba right now is closed. They are making another location, which was always planned, but they're struggling to survive. And their GoFundMe page to keep it alive, it went to making sure that their employees had health insurance during all this that's going on now. Captain, you gotta wax the ears, buddy, and other things, so then your ears will be better. So there you go, Ken. Saw what Cody put. So there you go. That's a tough one. I do feel that people have their stories to tell, just like how people were upset about Maite. It's her story to tell. Not everything needs to be aired out. It could be good stories or resolutions, just like I feel what's going to happen with Brown Mark and kind of how Jesse Johnson was. So sorry that there's problems on YouTube right now. In the olden days, what you like, because Australia to LA was like a simple flight. Yeah. Sorry it's out of sync. Let me know if it syncs back up. But we're good here in the StreamYard, but that goes to everywhere else. So, yeah. Gotta just ignore comments going forward and just delete them. But I think I said it this week and last week, and then that's going to be it. Exactly. It's their lives too, and they played a role. Very private. That's what I'm saying. Not everything needs to be told. I just want people to get stuff right. Just like in the Beautiful Ones book, where he criticizes Katy Perry and Ed Sheeran. He was trying to just criticize the genre, not mention them by name, because he's mentioned stuff to me about Katy Perry, even Rick Ross and other things. He's trying to mention the genre of music. So when he was saying what he said about Ed, when he was saying what he said about Katy, I don't think he meant for Dan to put that in the book. He's just criticizing the genre. And the thing is that I know for a fact that he listened to Katy a lot, but he likes songs like Firework and Wide Awake. And he did tell me one time, when we're driving around LA, and then it was like right after he got out of the car before he went to his hotel room, he goes, Katy Perry's fun, but she ain't funky. So there you go. But he would listen to Wide Awake on repeat for stuff. So twice a year from 2000 2013, you're like, oh, screw that Funkenberry guy. I don't need to hang with him. Too cool for school, apparently. It's not like I fly to Australia twice a year. Playing with you, man. So sorry, Mia. Maybe because Captain's on YouTube as well. He's not having a problem. Maybe leave the room and come back in. Isn't this how it is with everything, Julie? I'll tell you other things that I don't like. We'll get to that. Yeah. Like, look, you guys know a lot about me, but you don't know everything. And that's why it's like, I want the things I want to do for you guys. It takes time, but I also I'm burning the candle at both ends, but it is what I have to do. And that's why when it comes to donations and other stuff, I really appreciate it. It goes through to the show. Yeah, it is misinterpreted, but that's why when we talk about stuff, he's meaning the general. But of course, again, as you saw before the book, those headlines of Katie and Ed were out there. He liked Beck. I'm sure he liked Radiohead, of course, covering him. Beck would be at his shows. I remember his kid at the Forum Run. He put those headphones that you wear when you're at the airport and you're signaling in planes to come in. Beck's son had those on. So, you know, I just love Prince's thing, like, oh, I don't listen to anybody's music, but then all of a sudden he'd bring out a cover of Radiohead's Creep, or when he did The Middle by Jimmy Eat World, stuff like that. Glad it worked, Mia. So, electric fetus with free shipping. That CD trader has to get into is the free shipping. I don't know about that. So, exactly. We all know he covered Creep live because that took the headlines from Coachella, as he called it. So, yeah, he listened to so much stuff. He always said he didn't, but yeah, he did. You know, he just didn't want, you know, them to get stuff going on and other things. So, Nine Inch Nails, because there's so much stuff that he liked, from Suede, who was originally called the London Suede, to so many other things. He was constantly paying attention to overseas charts and other things because he felt that they were ahead of the game. So it's a stunt that worked. Just like, remember someone complaining when Prince gave me Even Flow to distribute during the Third Eye Girl era. Even Flow is a Pearl Jam song, so it's a cover. And there was someone going, I'd rather it be his own song of Kiss out there. It wouldn't have got the hundreds of thousands of listens and exposure that it got from Spin and Rolling Stone and these other overseas things that covers right now and at that time are what gets you noticed. Prince putting out Kiss, you've heard it before you've done it. Prince with Third Eye Girl, his rock band, doing Pearl Jam's Even Flow, gets people interested. He liked Australian music. Captain, you can speak on that. And the person that he had that Elisa Fiorillo really liked during the Welcome to Australia shows and the after shows that performed. Don't want to butcher his name right now, but I believe you know who I'm talking about. So yes, he liked Australian artists. And of course, that guitarist right now whose name, Hearts. I forget that. And of course, he did an amazing version of Return of the Mac, a cover, and that got him attention. I thought it was amazing. I just wish that both would have aired, not just one on video. You know, Pop Life was amazing and Darling Nikki was amazing. Both live. It's a loaded question. Making his fans happy. Yes, Andy McKean, we'll get into that. Go ahead on more on him, Captain. Finding ways to keep the legacy alive and concentrate on things, and that's why I get so upset, because I'm passionate about it. But I feel right now he'd want me doing this show. The other things I can't speak for. I'm not going to be one of those people that ever says, oh, Prince is over my shoulder telling me what to do. I get feelings. I had feelings when he was here. And that's why we'd be kind of on the same wavelength. And that's kind of hard to talk about because then people just think you're crazy. But you get feelings of what a person would want and revisit it. Just like with Neil Carlin, he made some pretty insensitive comments about Prince in the past, but the person that was interviewing him, CJ, aka BJB, kind of led him that way. So when I first talked with Neil and people wanted me to talk with Neil, I wasn't open to it at first because of those comments. We talked. He felt terrible about those comments and other stuff. And I truly, genuinely believed that he was sorry. So that's what it comes down to. And I do feel at times that Prince would forgive people a lot of times. And that's what people have to do is stop trying to do the battles. Yes, McKee and Darren Hartz, Andy McKee and Darren Hartz. So Eddie Vedder loved it, huh? So would love to see that comment. But Andy McKee is not an Australian artist, but Hartz is. There's probably other people that he liked. No, not communicating with him from beyond the grave. Do have weird dreams. Crucifix. It's a Prince symbol. Apparently someone just going out into the room. Yeah. You have to think for yourself. But you also have to do what you feel that would be in his best interest. And there was the whole thing, you know, albeit they came from other stuff, but yes, 100%. And Nandi was an awesome guest. I had Nandi and Maya both on the old show before. Yeah. So he would say that, but it wasn't exactly true. So he didn't understand at one time the success of Bruno Mars, but it just, I personally feel just like with Justin Timberlake and R. Kelly back in '96, Prince would create these rivals, and that's how it would be. So there's so much stuff in there. You have like no idea. It's absolutely ridiculous. I want more videos put out, concerts, unreleased videos, all that stuff. So that's going to be my short-term answer. You have to be forgiving, you know, but you know, people sometimes don't know better, and you have to rise above. I do. It's going to take time. I do believe that he's more acknowledged now than when he was then. When it was happening, he was being ridiculed. Not so much anymore. But I would love to see, you know, there is slave trade. That's a good documentary on it. There could be better, but it's longer that talks about that. But there is something that could be more updated, that have more people from the industry involved, that are current, and that it played something on them. So yeah, I believe he is, and there's other songs in there that are, but there could be a award just for him. He was always overlooked on stuff, even with Nothing Compares to You. So yeah. See, we can be respectful and have fun, but that's sometimes why I like to have guests on, because I'm afraid of the other people sometimes. So yeah, Jordan did it, like everyone who does it. You know, slave trade. I was supposed to be a part of that. But I know that Alan Leeds was a part of it, and other people, and I was kind of worried that they talk stuff about Prince. I was offered some money to do it. Not exactly a lot, a few $100s, but it just felt like, no, but I really liked how the DVD turned out, and I kind of wished I was part of it. But I was told that Prince appreciated that I didn't do it. So it's just one of those things, because remember, he never made me sign an NDA. And So I could have done those things, but I went to them to let them know that I felt like not doing it. But it allows me for other opportunities, and there's nothing that the estate can come at me for saying that I signed something, 100%. And then they used that article used a photo of Prince where he was kind of wearing like something Middle Eastern. He was kind of like this. I saw that photo recently, a black and white one, but it was a color photo that was exclusive to Forbes. At least that's where it first came out. And I love the Michael B interview. So yeah, I never knew what the repercussions might be, but it's just like he trusted me to make the right decisions. And I did. I continue to do it, even with a documentary that some people were not down with after he passed. Like, was trying to help out with stuff. It hasn't seen the light of day yet. And I feel what was done with it was great, but other people didn't feel that way. But you sometimes have to do stuff, and you have to go with your gut instinct. And then there's just other things I won't be a part of. So yeah. Any other questions? We'll try to get this to the 90-minute mark. Again, longer than I thought it was going to be, but that's fine. It is his birthday today. We did talk about having Clarence as a guest earlier in the show. Someone recommended to me earlier today that, interesting enough, Stranger Things, I must say. So interesting. People have to check up into that. That's why it's like when I drive around in my car and I play stuff, it's kind of giving you like my playlist, but also some Prince stuff. I'm just having to be careful about what I share. My own documentary. I have an idea for stuff. It'll maybe come to fruition in the future. Wouldn't it be a documentary? Wouldn't it be a book? Let's see how things play out and who's running things. But remember, you never give away all the ideas, right? Because then they use your stuff and then you don't get credit for it. And then you're not invited, or you are invited, but other stuff. So we will. There's some other guests that we want to have on. And then the other format that I want to do, I think I'm going to have Scotty and Dave on soon. But I need to do my best to make the shows better and do other things. That's what it goes down onto, like purchasing ads for Facebook and YouTube and other things that I want to do, but we weren't able to do. So let's see. And then we'll just get into it. But that's what we said before, is that we're going to be getting that, the mount for the TV and then the TV screen behind me, hopefully on the same date. Your donations are always welcome. Just give me those links. We'll do that towards the end as well. Wow. Just did it a second time. And then for people that are asking about Venmo and Cash App, if I didn't have it prepared, because don't you just love it? It's just the Dr. Funkenberry name. So don't worry about emails. So that's going. Bang, there it is. Yeah, he paid attention to our shows, that's for sure. So what's everyone's go-to first Prince playlist song? Mine is Dorothy Parker. It always depends. I'm working out, Days of Wild. Other stuff, Pink Cashmere or Scandalous. Other things, Automatic, Erotic City. Yeah. Wow. I didn't go to any of those. I wasn't ready yet. But I'm glad that you went. So, yeah. Thank you. But yeah, I got Cash App last week or whatnot. So, yeah. They always give us something new. But yes, that's why I'm trying to get on, is people that you guys haven't heard before. And we're going to be having that. We haven't had Link on before, so hoping to get her. But there's other guests we haven't had on. And I just won't mention them. And I'm not trying to be a jerk or be a dick or not really have them. I do. But again, we talked about before where there's guest stealing going on, or there'll be someone talking crap while you're doing their show and this, and this, and it's fake. And it's just like, you contact them, they agree to be on the show. And I know the captain has had this happen before, but they agree to be on the show. Then you're hitting them up, and then all of a sudden the thing goes dry, and it's because you mentioned that they were going to be on the show. Yeah, Lee, Venmo is the same thing. Dr. Funkamary is the Venmo for Venmo and Cash App, both the same. Here. So, sorry guys, not trying to be a jerk. But we want to make these things happen faster. Sometimes It Snows in April, very underrated song. It's hard for people to hear about now. Yeah. So, that's the reality of the situation, Captain, for sure. This is it. This is why it's on you. The person's watching on YouTube, just like your comments right there. You know, we're able to get all three formats. I'm able to see all three of you guys at once. So, yeah. Rocketpool does get stuff, you know, and then they're pretty good at shipping stuff even here to the US. I have not yet. So, who's the captain? Well, it isn't me. I'm not the captain now. But someone from the Peach and Black podcast, another Prince show. Or are we going to be saying formally on the Peach and Black podcast? It sucks to say that. BS. 8 more minutes. Are we going to go overtime? So get in on this stuff. I appreciate you guys and your questions. But from now on, I'm going to have you guys, when someone else starts talking about stuff that we don't talk about on the show, I'm going to leave it up to you guys. Like, we don't talk about that. Like, it's like Fight Club. So we're going to go on that. So there you go. But I did not get the box set yet. So the podcast formerly known as. There's still some more episodes I think that they're going to do, but so yeah. I saw them in LA a couple times. The last place that they played in LA was an amazing show. So I enjoyed them, and I look forward to being able to go to concerts again and see them and go to events. And I apologize for not looking straight into the screen. Good Lord, I hate looking at myself. That's what it goes into. So, but got to get used to not having the beard for sure. That's one thing. So maybe they can save it. It seems that their decision has already been made, but this is what Captain is saying on YouTube. So yeah. We will see. Yeah, I'm with you on that. Captains, welcome to be on, especially because at the time that I do my show, it isn't too late in Australia, or would it be not too early? So, but would the show be sponsored by Mountain Dew? That's a little joke that only Captain would get. Yeah. What's a concert? Yeah, it's been a while. Like, see, it's a good time. Top of the afternoon to you, Thursday in the future. So, yeah. Although we wouldn't be able to talk about Star Trek or other things because I know nothing about that. But yes. So we can do things, you know. Oh, no. Well, I think YouTube is about to start having ads on my channel. I have to, I guess, play into that. But You know, that's supposed to help us, but we know it helps them more so. Um, whoops. No. We would talk about songwriting, but no. I couldn't play nothing and I didn't want to embarrass myself. So I want to see this captain person. Rashida. So thanks. I'm not used to it, I'll be honest. But I fear it's time for a change. So 1/3 of 1 cent. So yeah. Wow. That's a question for the captain, not me. Let him finish, let him answer that before we go off. Any other questions that we go on or other things? I have tried playing guitar. I'm a lefty and I refuse to go for right. It's interesting. Guitar left-handed, writing right-handed, shooting pool left-handed, batting right-handed. So what do you like? Oh, okay. The beard. Nah beard. So I fear like if you keep doing the same thing over and over again, you got to try different things. So yeah, yeah. We'll have Sinbad on eventually. Supposed to have him on 2 years ago and I lost my freaking voice. So pissed at that. So um, it was a gift from a friend. It's not something that I ordered or got. It may like, you know, I don't want to go into more of that. If the person wants to discuss how I got it, that's fine. I've always said that it isn't from, you know, anyone in the sense, but it was from someone, and that's how I obtained it. I didn't have a jeweler, especially make it like some of the other jewelry I had, but it was around him, I guess is the only thing I'd say. But other people, when I've answered that question before, saying it's from a friend, they made assumptions with stuff and it wasn't true. And I don't like that. So, yeah. See, that's another story that she can tell. There's so many Mariah stories that people just don't know about, from Paisley Park in 1991 to before Glitter came out, because, you know, she wanted to cover I Want to Be Your Lover for that movie. And let's just say it didn't happen or it wasn't released. So Sinbad's turning into a Prince fan. So let's see her handsome face. The handsome face, so girls can catfish me on, or dating sites. We don't need to get into that, but just ridiculous. Being single during COVID is tough. So you guys that are married or in relationships, I envy you a little bit. But we're all being safe over here. LA was already a tough place to date in the first place. It just got a lot harder, especially when the places you love to meet people are events, concerts, dance parties. Those things are gone. So I sit alone in my crib, keeping myself busy in other projects. And I love to concentrate more on the show and learning how to edit to make my 3-hour YouTube shows into small clips for you guys. And that's what I do. It's up to Mariah to tell. And I've always said that. And then a person that has worked with Mariah in the past agreed and loved that I did that. So I don't think we're going to be having Mariah on the show anytime soon. It would be amazing. But she does have stories to tell. Why does everyone find it surprising? We live in a world of catfishes and other people. And to be honest, I think that I am better in person than even photos. Yeah, I think my photos are good, but I think that it's better in person. And Linka just sent me a message. Hilarious. Live right now. Sorry, guys, for the silence. But yeah, that's the person we wanted on tonight. Here's hoping we can get her on for next week, right? There we go. So, yeah. Sorry. What was the best advice he ever gave you? That you need to hustle. And I look at it as maybe he didn't tell me directly, but you need to learn to adapt to situations. So when I saw maybe that podcast listens weren't as high as they used to be or whatnot, and this is a format that we used 7-8 years ago, but it was ahead of its time. So we decided to go back to it and just do these things. But you need to learn to adapt to situations. So my website would be a great source of Prince information back in the day and other stuff, but now everyone's on Instagram, on Twitter, and other places, and here. So you adapt to situations. So let me go back to other stuff. Jesus Christ, this should be like after show questions. Yes, no significant other. I don't understand why you guys don't get it, but no, there's no one. And I'm difficult. I'm not going to say it because I do put business and other stuff first. When I have shows, I'm not doing anything before a show. These are totally after show questions, you guys. Hottest girl I ever seen. One of them was a catfish that no one knows is a catfish. And I see them always leaving comments about how beautiful they are. But in person, there's been a lot. Like I remember today going to Target to look for mounts and other stuff, just to see if maybe they had it. That this woman's walking out, most beautiful eyes I ever seen, but they got the mask on, and it's not like you can like smile through the mask or like, hey girl, what's going on? So yeah, I'm using dating apps and those things don't work. You know, you're on Bumble for a woman to hit you up, you match with them, and you can't hit them up first, then they don't hit you up. And I think sometimes they don't know that. But yeah, there's, you know, yeah, because there's probably some people that already had issues on that. Believe it. I would like to, when you're single, you're supposed to be enjoying being single is all I can say. This is not the professional aspect of stuff right now. But I'd like to be enjoying being single, and you can't really do that during COVID. And I like, we'll see people on dating sites like, oh, they want a serious relationship. I went, wait, slow down. Gotta meet, gotta do stuff, gotta get to know each other. And then, like I said, when you're single, you kind of see a few people. But with what's going on right now, it's really difficult. So use the apps, not the swipe apps. Not sure what you mean. Audio only, that's the way to go. Too pessimistic. Not pessimistic, sorry. I am 6'2", and I make sure to put that on dating apps as well. So use the apps, not the swipe apps. And that's what I think. Thank you, Susie, for that. But that's what I think is like, I don't think I'm ugly. I don't think I'm the greatest. But I think my personality, and then when someone gets to know me and then the jokes I tell, that's what makes them like me more. But again, you can't do that through a photo. It can only be done in person. And right now, those things are taken away. And especially think about it. Like we talked about the weather this weekend in LA. It's going to be 115 degrees. You can't really meet anyone. You can't go to the mall. You can't go to the movie theater. All that stuff's closed down. Thank you for saying I'm good looking. I always think that there's room for improvement. Yeah, dating sites are lame. Tell us my favorite attributes in women. Looks are important. I like brains. I like a woman that's driven. Just stuff like that. So, you know, good Lord. We should do like an episode of just like the dating thing. Definitely a hustler. What does that mean? So that's another thing is I think people look at me and they think I'm a player, and that's not true. Childhood teach me to adapt, but some people, as you get older, they're too set on their ways to change. And that's why you have to learn to adapt to situations and not exactly complain about it all the time. So that's the only reason I joined dating sites, was adapting to the situation. But I just feel that for every 5 girls that hit me up or whatnot, there's 500 guys that are matching with the other woman. So it's just hard. I'm a gem, not a gem. Thanks. Different all at the right. So many apps I don't involve swiping right. Don't know what it means. You have to push shirts and hats of yourself left. Most of those YouTubers bring business, and by the end of the night, one of these ladies will hit me up in a couple of months. And I don't do that. There's no one sliding into my DMs on Instagram. Remember, it's supposed to be the guy that's doing stuff. Ooh, what sexy brains you have. Hey, the whole thing is, if you're with an attractive woman, you want someone that you can have intelligent conversations with, right? That's how I feel. So people do find true love on dating sites all the time. I'm just not one of those people. So thanks. And I hate it where people in photos are telling me to smile. And I'm like, if you want to see me smile, I guess watch the show. Because when I'm doing photos, like, it's just, but I feel weird, like, so yeah. Grocery store, like, I don't go to the grocery store around my house because people aren't wearing masks, or they're not practicing social distancing, and they're all up in your grill. And that's a thing that's always bothered me, even before there was a thing called social distancing. Like, if I'm in an aisle at Target, I want to be the only one in the aisle because these people will be right up on you looking for the Starburst or something. And you're like, oh, hello, do you not see me here? Am I invisible? So yeah, I don't go to the supermarket by my house. I do go to Target a lot and get my food there. Come to Ventura County, our stores are open. Match a lot of people in Ventura, but they want me to come over there or whatever. What up, BP? So, age 11 years old, only befriended people who like and respect Prince. It's just easier. So, yeah, I don't mind being single. I just want to enjoy it. So, great way to advertise the show. What is? Yeah. Taking up personal space. Yeah. Like, look, it's just true. That's all I can say. But yeah. Single is $1 bill or maybe $100 bill. How does that sound? So, LA COVID. All right, we'll look into that later. All right. Yes, Leanne, I need to get on it. There's other things I've gotten to and I haven't listened to yet, and other books I've gotten and haven't read yet. I keep myself busy, is all I can say, and putting in time for working out, so won't be single too long. Anyway, you guys, trying to keep it professional. I'm sorry about that. And that's why I think I'm going to shut my mouth right now. All right. Any final questions? I know I said this before. I do enjoy talking with you guys. Just know that. So, and Diane, I worked on myself hard, especially last year. So the people that are working on themselves now, I already did the work. So that's what it comes down to. I'm trying to be classily Hoffler. I think I'm not being by talking about this, but I'm trying. So let's get back to this. Don't leave you one. What would it take for you to enjoy being single? Being able to go out and be a woman without having to worry about masks and other things. So, ooh, that's a good question. See, I would get flack for this. I like newer music. I like Taylor Swift, although I'm not fully into folklore yet. I like Ariana Grande, which is coming up a lot on my playlist. I like Lady Gaga. I like George Michael has always been a favorite. Like Halsey. I liked Kanye before he dated Kim Kardashian and lost the plot. So there's another different bigger symbol behind me, BP. So thank you, Nicole. Can't think of anything new I like. Billie Eilish too. I like her. There's a lot of stuff that I have, and I listen to new music because I can adapt. Of course, I like The Weeknd. Yes, I was on The Weeknd before a lot of people. Like if I post on my website, there's articles from him before he revealed his identity, when he was brand new and doing stuff like that. So there is a Purple Rain drive-in happening 2 weekends from this Saturday, I believe. Might go to that, but no one's going to look at me weird if I have a friend in my car, if I'm by myself, right? So metal or punk. It depends. It depends on the song. It's not like I'm into like Cinderella, and it's not like I'm into My Chemical Romance, which would be more emo than punk. So another thing about Jacob Collier. And I love Bruno as well, of course. Bruno's awesome, especially live. So there you go. I think that reggae music, reggae is cool. Isn't like something I listen to all the time. Mostly Bob Marley stuff will come up and I'll listen to it. People look at me weird all the time, to be honest. So yeah, it's okay though. But those are those things that are going on. So let's see something here. Nope. Black Eyed Peas. They performed the MTV Video Music Awards. I know they did one new song and then did other older stuff. So cannot wait for that mount to be here and the screen being right behind, so you're not seeing me looking so much to the right. Probably gonna need glasses in the future so I can look at the small writing anyway. I don't think you guys want me doing this instead of that, right? So had to support the women singers out there. Nothing wrong with that. But yeah, and the MTV Video Music Awards I watched them this weekend, and Gaga dominated. Ariana Grande won one. Billie Eilish, I believe, won one. The Weeknd was one of the only male artists that won stuff and kept his speech super short, and he performed as well. Interesting. So sometimes I think I'm too accessible as part of the problem, but thank you. I try. I saw portions of the Brandy and Monica stuff. Yeah. What do you do on Zooms all day? Just stay up. So, yeah. We'll look into it on that one. So, yeah. All right. I'm going to give Harry Styles, yes. I like his stuff too. And I'm going to do this before we end for donating. I appreciate you guys. Someone was asking something personally. I'll get back to it real quick. I think it was an email. Well, Sylvia, it's a video. The videos, he's been like that, and that's how it's supposed to do. It was supposed to look that way on purpose because I was playing the videos. It's for PayPal, and then Venmo and Cash App, which I just joined. It's this. So I was giving you the wrong information before, and someone just emailed about donations. So, and this link, YouTuber has a PayPal button, is maybe interested on this. something I have to learn how to do. So yeah, I'll have to add that in. Thank you for the tip. I appreciate it. And I appreciate you guys so much. And here's, like I said, in a few weeks, we'll have the monitor, the mount right behind the monitor, and then we'll have other stuff going on. So I'm trying to make this show be better, be best. All right, guys. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. And apparently the PayPal one didn't go through on Facebook. Such is life. Appreciate you guys. Thank you guys so much for subscribing on YouTube, Apple Music, iTunes, Spotify. I have to tell you guys, whenever we first start the show, just to share it originally. Usually I do that when we have guests on. So sorry that the last 20 minutes or so had to be about dating life. Just gets into that stuff. Let's try to keep it on topic of print stuff for sure. All right. So much love to you guys. Keep it funky. I appreciate all y'all. Stay sexy. You just can't help but be sexy, right? Supposedly. Anyway, new comments. Thank you guys. Much love. Till next Wednesday. Keep it funky. All right.